A very good morning to all. So kids, in this chapter we were discussing about the Gupta dynasty. Now let's discuss about their administration. That means we'll continue from page number 87. So here in the administration of the Gupta Empire, the king was the most powerful and the center of administration, and he had council of ministers who were known as Mantri Parishad, who assisted the king in administrative matters. And here, as you all know, that the empire was very huge, so it was divided into many provinces, and each provinces was known as Bhukti, and it was under the charge of Uprika. And also the king appointed important officers known as Kumramatyas, and they were usually paid in cash. Now this province was again divided into districts which was known as Vishayas. So this was about the administrating empire. And the local or the city administration, it consisted of the Nagara Shresthi, which consisted of the chief merchants or the chief bankers or the leaders of important guilds. Next one is the Sarthavaha, that is the leader of caravans. The third, it consisted of the Prathama Kulika, which consisted of the chief artisans or the craftsmen. The fourth one is the chief Kayastha, which consisted of important scribes. So all of them, they formed the local or city administration of the Gupta Empire. So this was about the administration of Gupta Empire. And here the Gupta administration was a decentralized one, which means that the distribution of administrative powers and functions of a central authority to the local authority. That means that the local people were also involved in the administrative matters. And here the local chiefs or the provincial officers were given lands as grant instead of cash as salary by the king. And in return, they helped the king by providing soldiers in time of need. And they became very powerful, and they were known as Samanthas. And here, as the Gupta Empire, it declined, these Samanthas, they became very powerful. So this was about the new developments in administration. Next, let's discuss about the emergence of new kingdoms. Here, this period, they saw the emergence of new kingdoms. The first one, you can see the picture of King Harshavardhana. So one of the famous Charitra Kavya, which is known as Harsha Charitra, written by Banabhatta. And here Banabhatta, he mentioned about his king Harshavardhana of Kannauj, which was written in Sanskrit language. And this Charitra Kavya, it tells about Harshavardhana's life, that is how he became the king in 606 CE. And after ascending to the throne, Harshavardhana, he shifted his capital from Tanesar to Kannauj, and he ruled for about 40 years. Next, let's discuss about the kingdoms of South India. So many powerful kingdoms emerged in South India, and they were the Pallavas and the Chalukyas. So first we'll discuss about the Pallavas. So here the Pallava kingdom was located in the Kaveri Delta, and its capital was Kanchipuram. And among the Pallava rulers, here King Mahendravarman and his son Narasimhavarman the first were the most powerful. And Narasimha the first, he captured Vatapi, that is Badami, which is the capital city of Chalukyas, and he adopted the title of Vatapikonda, or the conqueror of Vatapi. So this was about the Pallavas. Next important kingdom of South India was the Chalukya, and here the power base of Chalukya was the Raichur Dab, that is the land between river Krishna and Tungabhadra. So here the capital was Aiholi, and later it was Badami. And these capitals were very important trading centers, and they also had beautiful temples. And the most famous ruler of the Chalukyas was Pulakesin II, and he attained fame after defeating Harshavardhana on the banks of river Narmada in 620 CE. Here we know about Pulakesan II from a prasasti which was composed by his poet whose name was Ravikriti, and after the death of Pulakesan II, the Chalukyan power it declined. So this was about the two important kingdoms, that is the Pallavas and the Chalukyans in South India. Now next let's discuss the roles of assemblies in South India. So the local governance, it consisted of various assemblies. As you can see here, the three assemblies are Sabha, Nagaram and So let's discuss them one by one. The first one is the Sabha, which consisted of Brahmana land owners, and this assembly it worked through number of committees such as irrigation committees, agriculture maintenance and so on. The next assembly is known as Nagaram, which consisted of rich merchants, and these primarily functioned in towns and cities. The third assembly is known as which consisted of non-Brahmana land owners, and this assembly it worked at the village level. So the local governance was consisted of the assemblies, that is Sabha, Nagaram and Now next you have an activity. The question is, read about the dynasties of ancient China, record and submit the voice clip in Teams. That's all for today. We'll meet in the next class. Thank you.